Question, do the Jews use the concept of compound unit for echad in the Shema? Okay, let me explain that. The Shema is Deuteronomy 6:4, the confession of faith of the Jews. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. Now, what some people say, when it says one Lord, the word one is from the Hebrew echad. And they say, well, that means a compound unity. Well, I would say that's true in English as well. You have to look at the context to determine the exact meaning. Like the English word one. It can mean numerically one, numerical oneness. We count 1, 2, 3. If I say there's one person sitting there, that's a numerical oneness. But if I say my friend and I are one, or my wife and I are one, that's in a sense of unity. So the meaning of the word one can change depending on the context. Well, that's true in Hebrew as well. So what you have to ask is in Deuteronomy 6:4 and these other passages that speak of one God, what is the context? Is it trying to say there's only one God in contrast to what the pagans believe? Or is it saying the council of gods are united? Well, in Deuteronomy 6:4, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, Jehovah our God is one. In the context, he's trying to establish worship of the true God in opposition to all the false gods. So he's speaking of numerical oneness. If he's not speaking of numerical oneness, then it destroys the whole point. If he's saying the true God is a compound unity, you can say, oh, well, we can worship Baal too then. Just stick him in the compound unity. Oh, we can worship all these other gods as long as we put them in the union. So that wouldn't establish a worship of Jehovah against all the other gods. So when you look at the context of Isaiah, remember I spent all that time. God says, I'm alone, by myself, none like me, none beside me. What is that saying? More than unity, it's saying oneness. So when you look at the context, it's very clear that in this context, it's God's absolute oneness.